Now, in these questions, we've been asked to estimate these three calculations to one significant figure, so the answer needs to be one significant figure. And estimate means we're going to try and avoid using a calculator, basically, something we can do in our head. Now, remember, there's sort of no real right or wrong answers here, as long as you sort of round sensibly, okay? So we're using numbers that round nicely, okay, and work nicely so we can do everything in our head. So the way I would do this first one, I'd round my 8.6 to 9, okay, and I'd round 11.4 to 10. Now, it's up to you. If you wanted to do that to 11, that's absolutely fine. You wouldn't lose marks, but you just got to be a little bit careful at the end because this bit is 2. If I rounded that to 11, 9 times 11 would be 99, and that doesn't divide very nicely by 2. So the fact that I've got 90 and I divide by 2 and I get 45, okay, now 45 isn't to one significant figure, so therefore I'm actually going to put my estimate as 50 there for that first one. Okay, so again, it's fairly obvious why I've used these numbers, but if you wanted to use slightly different numbers, that is absolutely fine. Same when you come to this one, we got the square root of 4.8, well I'm going to call that 5, and we got 6.5, which I'm going to call 7. Now, I'm actually going to keep squaring these, and I'm going to get, what's that, 25 plus 49, add them up, and you get the square root of 74. Now, square root of 74 isn't very nice, so therefore I'm actually going to start rounding that to a number that works nicely, and I know 81 is the closest square number to that, all right, and so the estimate I'm going to give for that is 9. Okay, again, you could say that that's 4 and that's 6 if you really want. They're not particularly good on those, but as long as you're showing what you're doing each time, that's where you pick up the marks for these in exams. Now, the last one looks really horrible. It's not too bad because 0.95 is pretty much 1. All right, that's pretty much 700. Okay. And we've got, I'm actually going to keep that as 25. I know you probably will round up to 30, all right, but I'm actually going to call it 25 and you'll see why in a second. Again, if you round it up to 30, you wouldn't be wrong. It's just, I'm trying to make calculations that work nicely. So 1 squared is 1, 1 times 700, I've got 700 divided by 25, and now you may see why I kept that as 25, because I know that 25 goes into 700 exactly. Now, 25 goes into 104 times, so therefore goes into 728 times. Now, that isn't to one significant figure. Remember, I've been asked to estimate these, to one significant figure. 28 to one significant figure, I'm actually going to call 30. All right, again, just remember with these, round to numbers that are close to what you started with, all right, and you can go up, down, whatever, but use numbers that work nicely. Okay, that's where you'll pick up the marks.
Okay, Mary, so let's have a look at this one. So solve x plus 2x equals 12. So what do you think you do first?
Okay, well, I want x on its own, so I would put x equals 12 minus 2x.
Okay, so a lot of the time we want to get x by itself, but what we want to do first is get all of these x's together. So can you see anything we can do with this? Get all these together in one place.
Oh, okay, it's 3x, isn't it?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
3x equals 12. Oh, and so x equals 4.
Brilliant, spot on, well done.